Hello and welcome to the Sprouted Dreams podcast. I'm Abigail, your fairy godmother, helping you this week to find some new inspiration for your fairy gardens. Sometimes you can get a little stale with the look of a fairy or gnome garden when you have stuck with the same theme or idea for a long time. If you go on a beautiful hike or a little vacation, those things can be filled with many ideas of what you can do, especially if you get down low for a little while and really look at that special creek or beach and the shells and stones and plants and try to see where the fae might like to build a little picnic area, or perhaps where a door might hide and behind it you could see their entire residency. This way you can be inspired to create a similar space in your own fairy gardens. Most people have a phone handy, so you can take pictures of these areas so they stay fresh in your mind, and that is a really good idea if you want to keep these visions somewhere where you can access them and try to recreate it. If you're more of a person that remembers through reading, taking notes is even better. Sometimes I like to do both. If you have a note app on your phone and the camera, then you're all set. Some people prefer to journal, and that is a great way to write down new ideas, and even beyond what you're just seeing with your eye on the camera, you can there incorporate some of your own thoughts that you might have while you found these inspirational spaces. Perhaps it's the way the light hits a certain waterfall, or perhaps an area is shaded and it makes the moss a very lovely color of green, or even the shading can make a tree look like there's several different layers of browns and greens and gray. The flowers also can inspire you with their scent, especially now in the springtime. Here in California, we have had more rain than we have had in like 30 years. And the wildflowers have a distinct smell, especially when you get into large meadows of them, and they can be really powerful. And the color is just so beautiful with the purples and yellows, at least where I am. And it's great to take lots of photos, but if you prefer to take notes and add those special smells and inspirations, you can go a little bit deeper on your inspiration ideas for your fairy gardens. Perhaps you like to sketch or draw, and that's another way that you can incorporate the things that you're seeing in your mind rather than just the snap of a photo. An example of this is the Amazon show and series called A Wheel of Time, and that is just a beautiful show, in my opinion, for the way that they do lighting. The lighting in that show is spectacular, in my opinion. The costuming as well, but the lighting is really just beautiful. For example, when they have a room that could be dark, they add candlelight in the most amazing way. And for me, this is my inspiration for my future fairy gardens, is to use candlelight. Now, of course, candlelight should not be really used in a fairy garden directly. You want to use perhaps like a tea light or a solar light. And you could even use sometimes in fairy gardens the fairy lights that are very tiny lights on a wire. But lighting is a really unique way to bring a brand new aspect into your fairy or gnome gardens, especially now that it's getting to have longer days and we're heading into summer. You might want to add lighting into your displays so you can use them outside while the warm summer nights are approaching. So it's not just miniatures that you might want to add, or even the plants, but lighting or smells or shading or color, and that can get you out of a bit of a slump with the same old thing with your fairy or gnome gardens. I hope that gets you going this week to create something beautiful this week. And then next week, I will be back again to share another episode with you. Until then, happy fairy gardening. This podcast has been brought to you by Sprouted Dreams. where in the Bonnie Bray collection, I have just released 2 new beautiful hand-bound wooden fairy garden journals, just waiting for you to fill them with your ideas for your fairy and gnome gardens at sprouteddreams.com.